everyone, welcome to Bikini Design Club. On today's sew along, you will be able to learn how to use your bikini pattern top Rudy, and instead of placing the wires that are mentioned on the pattern, the short wires, you will be using a uni wire, so a continuous wire. Let's start. So on today's sew along, I will not be very expensive because you already have the regular underwires sew along for the bikini pattern. So I have already prepared and cut all my pattern pieces. I am going to use strong power mesh for my back, and for the cups I will be using this stabilizer brown color, which I have already sewn with the darts. The darts this time were not so perfect as I usually do, but well, it is what it is. I'm gonna pin front and back on the main fabric, right sides facing together, and I'm gonna align the side seam. I'm gonna repeat the process for our lining, combining the back power mesh with the front cup stabilizer. Just so you know, for the darts, I have adjusted slightly the curve on the dart. If you watch on the top left of my screen, you can see that I have changed slightly the dart position, the dart's width, but I also have done that on the bra pattern sew along, so you can check that to see the slight adjustments I did. For now, let's pin these areas that I've mentioned and sew them together. Today I will be finishing the top of my front top with 2 gold rings. So I have sewn a strap, folding the fabric and applying elastic, and I'm gonna now use my loop turner to reverse the strap to the right side, and we will be then connecting our strap with our front using a ring today. Now I'm going to align the top edge of my main fabric and lining, and I'm gonna align the top edge with right sides facing together, and I'm gonna pin them together. When I do this, I will flatten the seam that I have that connects the back to the front. I will flatten the seam towards the back sides. I will also align the entire lower edge of my bikini pattern. Of course, you have to do the same for your other cup piece and back piece. And I'm also going to align the lower edge, pin them together, and then I'm going to go to my overlock and apply the elastic on the side of my main fabric. We can also go ahead and do exactly the same on our neckline. So on your cup piece, on the front center cup piece, also align the fabrics together, pin and sew, applying elastic. If instead of using a ring, you want to sew your strap directly on the top edge of our bikini top Rudy, you can now use the side opening and insert your strap, aligning it with the top and sewing it. If you have questions on how to sew the strap to the bikini top, you can watch the triangle sew along, which has the reversible option, which has this filmed in detail. On the lower edge, I only apply the elastic on the parts where we have our back piece. So below the bust on the front, I didn't apply elastic, and that's because I'm gonna sew a wire channeling there, and I don't need the bulkiness and neither the elasticity that I would have if I would sew the elastic. Now use the side hole and reverse the entire piece to the right side, and we are ready to move to the next step. I'm gonna pin the lower part of my cup just below the bust so that I stabilize the seams where I haven't applied elastic. So I'm going to put some pins to make my life easier when I'm going to sew the wire channeling. And I'm also ready to move on and secure my ring on the top edge of my bikini top. And that's very easy. You just place the ring, you fold the tip of the fabric to the back, and you sew this. I usually sew this using my zipper foot so that I can sew this seam very close to the ring. Be careful not to touch the metal or you will break your needles. I can also go ahead and place my back clasp just by inserting the back center fabric inside the clasp, folding it, and just like we are going to do on the ring, sewing it to the fabric. Fold and sew. I always test this to see if it's comfortable for my size before I sew it. As always, I'm going to trim all the excess threads to keep my work clean. And if this was meant to be meant to be used with the uni wire, you would need to adjust slightly the curve on the lower part of the bust, because the curve of the original pattern is meant to be sewn with the short wire, and this wire, the uni wire, has a slightly different curve. So, well, in ideal world, I should have adjusted the lower part of my bikini, but I want to show you how even if you don't adjust with this standard uni wire, you can still use the same pattern without any alterations. So now I'm going to test my wire. And I'm gonna cut the wire channeling, making sure that the size of my wire channeling is according to the size that I need. So let's do that. To start with, I'm gonna close sewing the top edge of my channeling so that one of the sides is already ready and closed. And then I'm going to sew the wire channeling to one of the cups. In this case, my right cup, which looks like the left on the table, but it's the right one. And I'm going to sew with a straight stitch on the lower edge and on the top edge, and I will have the wire channeling sewn into place on my first cup. Now I'm going to grab my uni wire, and of course I can't use the side that I closed, I'm going to use the opposite side, and I'm going to insert my uni wire inside my wire channeling, and I'm going to align it. This is just so I am sure about the placement of my second cup, and that's why I'm inserting the wire on the bikini top, so that I can make sure that I have the correct amount of wire channeling, which I do because I measured before, but well, to make sure that I know exactly the placement and where I'm going to sew the wire channeling to my second cup. Watch the images so I'm sure you can also follow. I'm filling the end of my uni wire, and then I leave like 8 millimeters, like 5/16 of an inch, and I cut my wire channel. And I know that that's the end of my wire channeling, so that means that I'm gonna sew the wire now, the wire channel, very easily. I'm gonna sew it to the other cup using this edge, top edge. So remove again the wire, and you are ready to sew it to your second cup. You will find a PDF file with list of suppliers if you need any help buying supplies. And here we have our final result, which I really love, but I still decided to try if I didn't have the uni wire, which is sometimes hard to buy. If I had two regular wires, how would this work? So if you want to take a look at that video, you also have it available. Don't forget, once you insert the wire, to close the channel with a straight stitch on the top edge of the wire channeling. And that's it for today, girls. I hope you like this video, and I hope you try it yourself. Don't forget to share with us your results. See you soon. Bye!